Hey everyone, it's been a while, huh? You know, I've seen a lot of movies since we last talked. Black Adam, Wakanda Forever, MILF of Madness. No, but I saw a film recently that blows them all out of the water. And it's called Puss in Boots 2, The Last Wish. You know, the reason why I started this channel was to sell t-shirts, was to review movies. And I really just want to promote good shit. You know, there's a lot of crap out there, and a lot of people hate watch it, but I want to do something different, you know? I don't want to waste my time talking about shit that I hate. I want to talk about positive things, you know? I love animation. I love movies. And I want you to enjoy yourself watching a movie too. And, you know, if you want to watch somebody hate watch, there's a ton of people who do it way better than me, so go watch them. Anyway, I've got a stake in Comcast, you know, I bought some stock, and I regret it ever since that whole FJB thing came out, and they were openly gaslighting their audience. But aside from that, this was the first time since then I've actually been happy to own any stock in Comcast, because, as you may or may not know, Universal bought DreamWorks Animation, so it's all connected. Anyway, let's get back to the movie. I just wanted to watch this because I wanted to see the Spider-Verse style. And I like cats. You know, the first movie was a very cat movie. He did cat things. I like cats. Bing, bang, boom. I'm gonna watch it, right? Anyway, for this one, the bad guys looked pretty good. The animation looked gorgeous. So I decided, why not? I'm gonna give this a shot. And I was blown away. It was way better than I thought. It didn't have to go this hard, but I'm glad it did. You know? The bad guys looked pretty awesome. Yeah, you got Jack Horner, you got Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and most of all, you got El Lobo Muerte. Was a twist villain. I didn't see that coming, but I'm glad he was there, you know? I thought this was the same dude who was cross-dressing in the first Shrek, but no, it's a different guy. Spoilers, movie's been out for 2 months right now, I'm sure you've seen it. The animation was gorgeous. They changed the models a little bit. Puss looks different than he did 10 years ago. And so do all the humans. They look right out of Tangled or Megamind. They don't look anything like the Shrek humans. And I'm a fan of JoJo, so when it comes to changing styles in the same franchise, it doesn't bother me that much. It's fine. And not just the style of how they draw, how they model the characters, but also the cinematography is crazy. The action scenes were just hyper-kinetic. It felt like watching Attack on Titan. Plus they're on rooftops, so that's the same correlation there. Do you guys remember when Sam Raimi did his Spider-Man movie? And then he actually tied a camera to a swinging thing and just swung it around New York? Yeah, that's what it felt like here, times 10. You know, and they did something interesting stylistically, which is they dropped the frame rate, but only at certain points. You know, in Spider-Verse it was throughout, but here it's like you could tell some parts of the movie were just normal, and some parts when it gets like more exciting, or when Puss gets high on some caffeine, you could tell that shit was different. My favorite part was when there were characters in the foreground, and they were just like doing normal shit, so they were moving normally, 24 frames per second, but then you got some guys in the back, they're running and fighting, and they're in 12, so that was just cool to see. You know, I appreciate that, somebody who's studied animation. And I think for the layman, maybe you couldn't put your finger on it, but, you know, something was cool. I hope you guys saw that. And if not, go watch it again. Pay attention. You'll enjoy it. Now, visuals aside, the story was really good too. It was relatable. Because what's more relatable than all of us gonna fucking die one day, right? It's about mortality. It's about retirement. You know, I just turned 30. I'm feeling kind of old. I was trying to chop a coconut today and I threw out my back. I ate fried chicken the other day and I got real hard chest pains. You know, I really felt like I'm coming, Elizabeth. I thought this was the big one. You know, so that scene when Puss had a panic attack, it really spoke to me. And again, they have the cat-isms. Cats, when they get scared, they get all fluffy. And they start to smell pretty bad. So I like when El Lobo was saying, I love the smell of fear. I know what that smells like, because I got a couple of cats, and when they start fighting, they get all puffy and smelly. And I was like, yeah, Yeah, that's relatable to me. Yeah, and I just want to say on the panic attack scene, that was really good because the wolf was pretty cool on his own, but what really made him scary was seeing Puss get all freaked out by him. You know, even the dog, what the dog doing? Even the dog knew when to shut the fuck up and take the moment seriously, and he didn't have a little quip, he didn't have a little joke, he didn't say, rub my belly, senor. He didn't do that. He just put his head down and he was there for his buddy, and I really liked that. That was cool. I saw some videos, they said, like, Karens are attacking this movie because it's too scary, and you know what? I'm kind of on their side here because this movie was not for kids. There's a lot of death, you know? The Baker's Dozens, they're all pretty much dead. There was even blood. They were making a point that Puss was never touched by a blade before. And in this one he was. And you saw that blood, and it was red like a motherfucker. You know, when you have literal death as the villain, you're bound to get a little gory. The violence in this, or at least the death in this, kind of reminded me of Megamind, where it seemed like Metro Man died, and you just had his skeleton. Yeah, but that was a fake out. That was a classroom skeleton. It wasn't real. In this one, it was. Somebody died, and all you saw was a skeleton. And it's very dark, you know? That's what I like about DreamWorks, you know? They've never shied away from that. In Shrek 1, you had Mama Bear fucking die, and you saw a corpse on the floor. You had Fuckwad having a boner on screen. DreamWorks has always been edgy, and that's what I like about them. And I kind of forgot about that because I think they've been playing it safe for the past few years, you know, with the trolls and the home and you know, the other stuff. But yeah, they reminded me why I like them so much more than Disney and Pixar back in the day. There's a lot of cursing in this movie too, like the dog said shit for brains, you know. They censored it, but obviously you knew what he was saying. Just like when SpongeBob and Patrick were saying number 13. You knew what that meant. You know? Yeah. It's not for kids, really. Kids can stay there, but it's really not for them specifically because there's adult jokes in here, or there's mature themes in here. And you know, they didn't have to send any new message. There wasn't any woke shit in here. You know, the wokest thing in here was like they were on a boat and the boat was like being all rocky and then tipping over and shit. And then Puss fell into Kitty's arms. And then, you know, she's holding him like a guy would hold a girl. That's it. That's the height of it. You know? You just had a good story. You don't have to shoehorn anything in there. When the dog first appearance, what the dog doing? That dog? He first had a little cat costume, and I thought, oh shit, you got your trans cat right here. But no, that was just a little joke. They didn't make a message out of it. I really liked the dog, by the way. I thought he was going to be really annoying, but he was a sweetheart. I loved him, mi little perrito. Now, I love Shrek. I was only 9 years old when the first Shrek came out. I'm not joking, I literally was. And this movie does have a little relation to Shrek, you know? It's on brand with its humor and maturity. There's a lot of pop culture references, you know, Terminator, that's the one I can think of right now. Zorro, obviously. What else is there? I don't know, I can't think of anything right now, but when it comes to pop culture references in animation, Shrek, I'm sure didn't pioneer it, but it did make it really popular. Like, I remember a lot of movies in 2001 to 2006 kept trying to do what Shrek did. This movie kinda fucks up the continuity, just a little bit. Like in Shrek 1, there were 3 bears, and the mama bear died. So in this, you have an entirely different 3 bears, you know? The dad isn't wearing glasses anymore, the kid doesn't sound American anymore, and, well, the mom's alive. Well, it could very well be another 3 bears, or maybe Papa Bear he got remarried, and the kid adopted a British accent like Andrew Tate. It's a little tight bear, you know, and because of the trauma of the original Mama Bear dying, maybe that's why they turned into a life of crime, you know, they had their own little Breaking Bad thing. The 3 bears and Goldilocks family was sweet, but after a while I just thought, it feels like somebody's trying to sell me something. Just felt like they were trying to make this a spin-off. But I guess Puss in Boots is a spin-off too, so that didn't turn out too bad. Yeah. Would I watch a Goldilocks and the 3 Bears movie? Maybe. Series? Maybe. I don't know. I just like them as side characters. I thought they were good. I liked the accents. I had no idea Florence Pugh was British. Maybe she just does a good accent, but she has a real, she had a real nice timbre of her voice. It was resonant, it was calming. I want to hear this bitch sing, baby. She got a nice voice, goddamn. Let's talk about the villains. Jack Horner. I love John Mulaney's character in this. He was just so perfect. The moment this guy showed up on screen, I just thought, I love his character design. It is so off-putting and misproportioned. I thought Shrek was misproportioned, but this guy just took it to a whole new level. He's got really, really big hands and a really big head, but a tiny face and tiny legs. They didn't say it, but maybe I'm seeing things, but he did remind me of Trump, just with the long coat and just how awkward he looked. Either that or the Duderoy kid, just grown up. El Lobo Muerto, the wolf, who I thought was the big bad wolf, but no, he's just the personification of death. He was amazing. Every subsequent wolf that DreamWorks Animation has made has been more badass than the previous one. And I thought his reveal was amazing. I'm so glad I didn't get spoiled for this movie. I just thought he was a run-of-the-mill bounty hunter. And then he just says I'm death. Not metaphorically or poetically or theoretically or any other fancy sort of way. And I love his voice too. I don't know if he's Latino, but the last time I felt that a Latino character was this charismatic, it was Lalo Salamanca. Oh yeah, another one is Ernesto. He just had such a charismatic aura about him, and it was such a joy to see him on screen. And I just love the concept of the villain being death, because I was talking about horror movies before I watched this movie, and I was talking about how horror movies, they don't scare me, because, as realistic as you make the costume or the makeup or the CGI, I know it's not real. I know this is all just some dude writing, okay? And then some makeup artist just dabbed some foundation or prosthetics on a dude and then filmed it. I know that guy probably has to take toilet breaks. I know the animator who's animating it probably has to fucking look in the mirror and make weird expressions. It's not real, but death is real. So one of the only horror movies I'm afraid of is Final Destination, because that shit can actually happen. The villain is literally death, and he's charming, and apparently he's Brazilian, but I just like the little Spanish they put in there. They call him El Gato, they call him Lobo, they say Gazpacho. I learned a bit. Kitty was talking about her quinceañera. This is how you do it. I felt like I was watching Dora the Explorer, but it wasn't hit you over the head with it. It was just these are Spanish or Brazilian or, Central American or European characters. And this is how they talk, and it makes sense. All in all, I'm very optimistic towards animation. I want to talk a little bit about the style. Alright, the character design looks more stylized this time around, like How to Train Your Dragon or Megamind. I do miss the Beowulf, Sims 2, Final Fantasy style they were going for in the first Shrek, but it's a lot more digestible now. I think it goes with the times. Like JoJo, you gotta change it up, Even in the 2011 Puss in Boots movie, the humans already looked more stylized than they did. And that was just a year after Shrek 4. So, times is changing. And I'm very optimistic to where this is going, because characters, they looked like moving oil paintings, which I remember a long, long time ago when they were making Tangled, and back then it was called Rapunzel Unbraided or something like that. They were going on and on about how, this is gonna look like a moving oil painting, you're gonna be able to see the brush strokes, and then they were too pussy to do it. I'm sorry, they're not pussy, they're just, it was ahead of their time. Maybe technically they couldn't do it, or maybe they didn't think the audience would react too nicely to it, but I'm glad they're doing it now, because just visually, this movie was beautiful, and the frame rate dropping, it really makes it so that you can appreciate the frames. One of the things that sucks about animation is you could spend so long on one frame, and people only see it for a 24th of a second, And in this one, at least you can enjoy it for twice as long. There's some poses that look really good, and they hold that frame for a little longer than natural, but it's just a treat to see. It's like a flip book, and you just turn the pages a little slower, It's beautiful. and they didn't do it to a point where it was distracting. They did it well, I thought. In conclusion, the MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like many, I thought it was over since Endgame. Spider-Man, that wasn't really a Marvel thing, that was a Spider-Man thing. The DCEU got destroyed by 1,000 cuts, but the cinematic universe I'm looking forward to most is now the SCU, the Shrek Cinematic Universe, okay? I'd be okay if Shrek 5 isn't about Shrek. His story is complete. Maybe you could focus on another character. Maybe you could focus on Donkey. Maybe you could focus on Pinocchio, even though you've had like 3 Pinocchio movies recently. Why did Geppetto sell him? I don't know, they could very well fuck it up, but at this point I'm excited. Before I watched this movie, I was thinking, what constitutes as a 10 out of 10 movie? Because I was thinking, there's no perfect movie. This movie certainly isn't perfect. There were parts I thought could have been done better. I thought they could have referenced Humpty Dumpty, since he was a huge part in Puss's life, but they didn't reference him at all. It's definitely not perfect. It was very enjoyable, and I can't think of a single thing I didn't like about it. The story was awesome. The way they used the terraforming was awesome. Like, just story-wise, I've never seen in a movie before. So it was just fun all around. So all in all, this was a great movie, and this was the first time I could confidently say, I would rate this 10 out of 10. But it's not because the story was wonderful or the animation was the best I've ever seen in my life. It was because it was so much better than it needed to be. I would have watched this anyway. You got a cat, you got cool animations, I'm there. But they made the story great. They made the music great. They made the themes great. They made the villain great. It didn't have to be this good, but it was. And that's why I'm gushing over this. And I went to watch it twice. It's that good. My favorite DreamWorks movies before this was like Megamind or Shrek 2. And I'm seriously considering, well, you know what? Maybe this is even better. I might have to watch Megamind and Shrek 2 again. I don't know. But as of now, yeah, this is 10/10. Go watch it. You'll be putting like a fraction of a decimal point in my wallet because I've got Comcast stock. So please, go watch it. Go stream it when it comes out on whatever online streaming platform it comes out legally. Do that. Come on, man. Don't pirate this one. This one's really good. We wanna send a message that good movies deserve money. All right. So go watch it. And yeah. All right. Bye, everyone.